Stephen was running across the garden one afternoon, chasing a butterfly. He sprinted from one corner to the other, his small legs moving as fast as they could. But no matter how hard he tried, the butterfly always managed to stay just a little ahead. Finally, out of breath, Stephen fell onto the grass with frustration. "Grandpa," he shouted, "why is it so hard to catch it? I was running so fast, but I still couldn't grab it." Grandpa, who was sitting on the wooden bench nearby, smiled gently. With his walking stick in one hand, he slowly stood up and walked toward Stephen. His calm presence always seemed to make the air around him peaceful. "Stephen," Grandpa said in his deep but kind voice, "sometimes in life, running faster doesn't mean you'll reach your goal sooner. In fact, when you rush too much, you often scare away the very thing you were chasing." Stephen frowned, brushing the grass off his clothes. "But Grandpa, isn't it being fast a good thing? If I move quickly, I should win, right?" Grandpa chuckled. "Let me tell you a story. Maybe it will help you understand. Many years ago," Grandpa began, "there was a young farmer in a small village. He had just planted a field full of rice. Every day he walked through his field, looking at the small green shoots that were just starting to grow. He was excited for harvest, but soon his excitement turned into impatience. "This is taking too long," he thought. "Why aren't my crops growing faster? I need them ready sooner." So, in his impatience, he did something foolish. He decided to help the plants grow. One morning he went into his field and pulled each rice shoot upward just a little bit to make them look taller. At the end of the day, he looked proudly at his field. "Now my plants are taller. They are growing faster because of me," he said to himself. But the next morning, when he returned to the field, all the shoots had withered and died. By pulling them up, he had destroyed their roots. His impatience had cost him his entire harvest. Stephen's eyes widened. "Oh no! So he lost everything?" "Yes," Grandpa nodded slowly. "All his hard work was wasted because he couldn't wait. He forgot that growth takes time. He tried to rush what should never be rushed." Stephen sat quietly, thinking about it. "But Grandpa, isn't it hard to wait? I don't like waiting. It feels boring." Grandpa placed a gentle hand on his shoulder. "That is true, my boy. Waiting is not easy. But patience is not just about waiting. Patience is about trusting the process. It's about understanding that every good thing in life takes time, just like the seed needs time to grow into a tree, or just like you need years to grow into a strong young man." Stephen tilted his head. "So, rushing only makes things worse." Grandpa smiled. "Exactly. Let me give you another example." He pointed toward the small apple tree at the corner of the garden. Its branches were heavy with green apples that weren't yet ripe. Imagine if you were hungry and decided to pluck one today. You'd find it sour, hard, and unpleasant. But if you wait a little longer, the same apple will turn red, sweet, and delicious. You can't force it to ripen faster. Nature has its own timing." Stephen nodded slowly, his young mind connecting the pieces. Grandpa continued, "Life works the same way. If you rush, you spoil things. If you are patient, you enjoy the reward. Think about building friendships, learning skills, or even achieving your dreams. Nothing great ever comes instantly. The world may try to tell you that success is quick, that happiness is immediate, but that is not true. Real success, real happiness, those are fruits that take time to ripen." Stephen thought for a while, then asked, "But Grandpa, what should I do while I wait? Just sit and do nothing?" Grandpa shook his head gently. "No, Stephen. Patience is not laziness. Patience is active. While you wait, you prepare. You keep working, you keep learning, and you keep improving yourself. That way, when the right time comes, you are ready. Just like a farmer waters his plants every day, even though he knows he won't see the harvest for months. Stephen's face brightened with understanding. So, if I keep practicing my drawing every day, even if I don't get better quickly, I should still keep going? Grandpa's eyes twinkled. Exactly. That is the spirit of patience. Keep working and trust that time will reward your effort. Remember, a caterpillar doesn't become a butterfly in a single night. It must go through its cocoon stage first. If you cut the cocoon open too early, the butterfly will never learn to fly. Its struggle and its waiting are what make it strong. The evening sun painted the sky in shades of orange and pink as Stephen sat beside Grandpa. The garden felt calmer now, and the butterfly he had been chasing earlier fluttered back and landed on a flower near him. Stephen watched it silently, this time without trying to catch it. Instead, he smiled. "Grandpa," he said softly, "maybe if I just sit here and watch, the butterfly will come closer on its own." Grandpa patted his shoulder with pride. "That's patience, Stephen. Sometimes when we stop chasing and start trusting, life gives us exactly what we were running after." Grandpa looked into Stephen's eyes and spoke gently, almost like he was speaking to both the boy and the world at the same time. "Remember, Stephen, rushing ruins things, but patience builds them. Don't be like the farmer who pulled his plants and lost everything. Be like the farmer who waters his field daily, trusting the harvest will come. In your life, be patient with your dreams, with people, and with yourself. Good things take time, and that time is never wasted." Stephen nodded, holding Grandpa's words in his heart like a treasure, and as the stars slowly appeared in the night sky, he whispered to himself, "I will learn to be patient." And that was the beginning of his lesson on the power of patience.